Hello, hello, hello. Okay, super. So I gave up on Amazon AWS, basically database and infrastructure, right? So my original plan was to do the following, okay? That was my original plan. So site, React, all right? I create my website in React, right? So then I need backend. I will need, where's my thingy? I drew it today, okay? So then you need server, you need database, and then you need hosting, okay? So my original plan was AWS, AWS, AWS. That was kind of my original thought. All right, here's my problem with AWS, right? Documentation in AWS is beyond bad. It's just so bad. It's unreadable, close to unreadable, right? And the second problem is there are not a lot of video and tutorials on actually how to do stuff. So, for example, database, I decided to go with Dynamo, whatever it's called, right? Now, there are no tutorial to do simple things like how to pull data out of a Dynamo database, how to um, let's say I have a app which is running on local host and I'm trying to pull or push data into Dynamo database. Now, you will see a lot of videos on YouTube, but when you actually watch them, they're not that useful. Furthermore, a lot of them are written in weird languages, right? For example, some of them have Python, some of them have some kind of YAM languages. I've never seen them before, right? Some of them just talk and don't really show you anything. Okay, so I found one. I think he's doing what I expect him to do, right? So he's creating a full end-to-end database. So that's the series. All right. So I'm going to direct you to this guy and watch him. But I personally gonna swap to Mongo database. So I'm gonna, because you see the problem, fundamental issue I'm having is no tutorials, right? So I mean, going forward, how are you going to learn? So let's say somebody gives you a database, 7 million, right? 7 million entries, and it's some kind of there are multi hierarchies in the database, and you have to pull it from two different sources or something like this, right? You will not be able to find it in terms of YouTube tutorials, right? So you cannot learn. That's what I found. I cannot learn, right? Because there's no information. Second of all, even if it's available, sometimes it's on a different language. So I'm using JavaScript. It could be on Python or some other language. Third problem is if you go to AWS documentation, it's just disgusting, right? So risk to reward is not there. Let's say AWS, right? And the most important thing that I found, I did research on across Ireland, across Europe, and Indeed, and Mongo database is by far the most popular framework and demanded by employers, right? So if you're a front-end developer, it's pointless from my perspective to sit and try to spend 6 months perfecting your skill set with AWS if Mongo database is by far most used and easier to use because it's on JavaScript. Does that make sense? Like its risk to reward is just not there. Okay, AWS might be the future. It's still uncertain, but I mean, you might get 3,000 more because you know AWS, right? Euros, 3,000 more euros. The problem is to work for those 3,000 euros with AWS. up front, you probably have to spend 3 to 6 months extra work just to figure out how to do it in AWS. And going forward, it's going to be painful for you to work, right? So this 3,000 is not worth for you because you're better off moving from being junior or a simple developer, right, to senior developer while still within your, let's say, comfort zone, right? So you need to focus on front end stuff like Mongo database, tweaking. Like I found stuff in here, it's very back end heavy, right? You have to understand a little bit of SQL. You have to really understand how queries work, right? Whereas with Express Server and Mongo database, it's very front end friendly because a lot of code is very, very similar and logically it makes a lot of sense. Whereas this stuff here, I found AWS is very, I think you need to be focusing more on the back end, right? So that's what I'm saying is I'm just going to direct you to. So I'm going to go like this. React, server, Express, database, Mongo, MongoDB, or for sure small projects, I'm gonna use NDB, right? NEDB. And hosting, I might use AWS, but I probably gonna go with something like Netlify, right? Or one of the popular ones, something like this, right? Because like from my perspective, I do not need to be good in here. I just do not need to be good in here. I need to be good in here because I'm a front end developer, right? All of this stuff is back end, and let the back end engineers handle this, right? Okay, take care.